Welcome to Scoop World Order. It is game day. Youngstown State is in town. They are going to receive a beatdown at the Horseshoe today. Jim Tressel will be in the building. I'm excited to see him. A lot of great stuff. The home opener, always exciting. A lot of young guys in. JJ Smith is in the building. Jabari Brady is in the building. Going to have interviews from them hopefully this week. Fantastic players. JJ had a monstrous effort. It was around 16 catches, over 300 yards receiving. Best wide receiver prospect ever, potentially. He is an absolute monster out there, and he is killing it. And he's on a flight right now to land in Columbus and be ready to go for game day. So a lot of stuff going on. Nick Rodriguez is in town. Missouri commit from St. Thomas Aquinas. It looks like he's going to be a flip candidate. We're likely to get him into the class. So a lot of great stuff going on. But as always, we're very thankful for you guys. We're grateful for you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to hear your bold predictions. Put those in the comments. We're a couple hours from kickoff. Get ready to head down to the stadium, check out the game. I hope everybody stays injury-free. I hope we get a lot of bodies into the game. I think there's a few guys that are really going to start to ascend up the depth chart. And I'm going to start it off with Carnell Tate. I believe Carnell Tate will end the season as our starting Z receiver, the spot currently occupied by Julian Fleming. I thought Julian Fleming actually played his best game as a Buckeye at Indiana. But the coaching staff at Ohio State has moved Carnell to the full-time Z role directly behind Julian Fleming. I think that they think that he has a bigger upside. I think he's a better talent. And Julian hasn't been able to stay healthy. So I think you have to prepare for the stretch and potentially have Marvin, Emeka, and Carnell as your three starting receivers. So that is something to watch for. Fully expect Julian to start today, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I expect Brandon Innes to continue to rise up the depth chart. He's a guy, they've been putting the screws to him, tough as nails. He is in fantastic shape. He's lost about 9 pounds, looks really, really good. Quicker, nasty. And honestly, like a lot of these high school guys, they're not used to sitting on the bench. Sitting on the bench is something they're allergic to. So they will do everything they can to scratch and claw and get into that starting lineup, which will be impossible this year. But hey, I mean, you got to get ready to go for next spring when you could potentially have the South Florida Express trio of JJ Smith at X, Brandon Innes at H, which is the slot, and Carnell Tate at Z. So it's going to be interesting to see how they pepper in these young receivers. I think Innes and Tate have already passed the kids from last year that are second-year guys. So it's going to be interesting to see that. The offensive line is going to be interesting. How early do we see Luke Montgomery in at left tackle? Obviously, he played the jumbo tight end as number 98 last week. But are we going to see him get in the first half for Jimmy Simmons, who was okay, or Josh Fryer at right tackle? Again, I think it's tough because the tackles Josh Fryer, I thought actually played really well. Again, it was his second career start. It's funny because his 2 starts both came against Indiana, which is kind of funny, but he really played solid football. I liked what he did. Mistake-free, really did a good job. He's not the butt kicker that he needs to be yet, but I mean, he can get there. It was weird because if you'd asked me who I thought would have graded out the highest, I thought the 2 guards, and the 2 guards actually graded out the lowest. So Carson Hinsman hung in there, did a good job. Can get a lot better. Had some bad calls that put guys in bad spots, but again, it's his first time ever playing center. So I mean, there's going to be bad calls, and there's bad calls in every game. And you just got to get them corrected and cleaned up, and just get better and better at it. Again, the guy that I played with, in 2004, 2005, Nick Mangold, probably the smartest player in Ohio State history, or close to it. A guy that just could pick off any blitz, could pick off any read. Was just ultra confident with making the calls, getting us into the right spots. But sometimes when you're making these calls and it's close and you're not sure if a guy's blitzing or not, you just got to make a call and go with it. And sometimes you're going to guess wrong. But Carson, I think where he can develop the most is in his confidence, his self-confidence. He says keep trusting himself, trusting his eyes. And a lot of that's his film study. It's film study. It's figuring the game out as it goes. Because again, these games are never stagnant. You never know what you're going to get when you're playing football, but especially at Ohio State. I remember in 12 with Urban, we had no idea what kind of defense we were going to get every week because no one had ever seen the power spread offense before. And with Ryan, I would bet Indiana was getting ready for 3 and 4 wides all year, and we show up running 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. We're running 12 and 13 to death, which was shocking to me. It was shocking, and I'm sure it was shocking to Indiana. So I'm sure they had to adjust their defensive scheme to match what we were doing personnel-wise. So it's going to be interesting to see. I assume will be vanilla. I don't think we're going to go too crazy against Youngstown 6. You don't really need to show anything really these next 2 weeks getting ready for Notre Dame. But I think you got to show enough. I think that the good thing about a game like this is you can experiment and show some crazy stuff. And then Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame and their defensive coordinator are going to have to prepare for it. That's like the thing about when you have two of these games where they're not big time. Obviously you're gonna win. You're gonna win no matter what. I mean, you have the ability to show some kind of crazy formations. You can show a lot of 13, 5 wide. You can show everything, and then it's just more stuff for them to prepare for. So it'll be interesting to see what Ryan, if he pulls any tricks out of his bag, because I really think that this is a game for the young guys. This is a game for our offense to get humming, for our offensive line to build some confidence. For a lot of guys to take that next step. I think that you have to get Marvin involved early and get him out of the game early. You don't risk an injury against Youngstown State when you need him for Notre Dame, but it's going to be a fantastic day. The weather looks fantastic. Are any of you guys heading down there? If you are, leave a note in the comments. I'll be wandering around for a little bit before the game. I usually get in there pretty early, so I'm excited to see that. And I want your bold predictions. Bold prediction for me, Carnell Tate gets a touchdown. I think that's probably not Super Bowl. Caden Curry gets a sack. I think Caden Curry was a really bright spot on the defense, playing as a nickel defensive tackle, rushing. He did a really nice job. I think there's a lot of chemistry between him and JT Tuimoloau on the one side, and then you've got Mike Hall and Jack Sawyer on the other side. They ran some great twists. Again, I think that the more that you can keep those guys together, especially when they're running twists together, they develop a coordination and a chemistry that you don't get if you're mix matching guys all the time. So it's something, it's kind of like a little delicate thing inside the game that you don't really notice. But when you're a lineman, you definitely notice when guys have chemistry or when they don't. So, but yeah, I just wanted to jump on here real quick, say hello. Hope you guys are having a great morning. Again, I think that we're going to have some fireworks today. I think Ryan Day, not happy, only getting 23 last week. I mean, that's really low for him. We were really close to 37. If Kyle McCord breaks right on the quarterback draw, if we hit Marvin's touchdown where the Big Ten corrected it and said that he was back in bounds at the time. Just again, it's going to be an interesting day. So, I'm going to log off. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy this. A reminder: we will be doing a post-game show probably about an hour and a half after the game. Once I get home, me and Nevada are going to get in, break the game down. Give you guys our thoughts. So plan on that. Probably around 5-ish. It'll probably be in the middle of some games, but look for the alert on your phone. If you guys don't have the alert, click that little alert bell and we'll be ready to rock. So we appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Our game thread is absolutely crazy already on BuckeyeScoop.com. So if you guys want a fantastic companion to your Ohio State viewing experience, please join BuckeyeScoop.com, because our game threads are hilarious and they're fun and people fly off the handle and there's great insight. It's got basically every array of emotions, that you could have as a football fan, all in one beautiful little packet called our game thread. So people, they give their thoughts nonstop. It's kind of like Twitter, but it's like a more sophisticated Twitter, because it's just diehard Ohio State fans. There's nothing else on your timeline. So join BuckeyeScoop.com. We're going to have some great coverage. Bill Greene will do his post-game likely tomorrow. Me and Nevada will be on there all night. And we'll have a thread for the Texas Bama game, the big monster tonight. See our boy Quinn Ewers to see how he does. So appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great day. We made it. It's the home opener. The Buckeyes are getting ready to rock the shoe against the Penguins, and it is time to go watch some real football. That being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation, and thank you, Scoop family. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Go Bucks.